On opening night tonight, he's one of our best known, hardest working actors, but Adam Gardner is about to be engaged in a bit of filthy business. And then one of my theatre besties, Darian Takel, talks to me about her wonderful career as a Kiwi leading lady. My first guest tonight is one of our busiest actors, seen regularly on TV and especially for the Auckland Theatre Company. He's next going to be in ATC's Filthy Business, which is described as hysterically funny and historically fascinating. Welcome, Adam Gardner.
Thank you for having me, Louise.
Yeah, well, lovely to see you. I mean, normally I'm sitting in the audience, it seems like every single play I go to at ATC, you're the star.
No, I'm usually the one supporting the star. Learn how to stand down and give them focus. That's
Right,
my job.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other one, of course, who's always there and is going to be with you again, is Andy Granger.
Yeah, we get to play brothers, which will be a bit of a first.
Okay. And is he the
maybe so.
baddie, I think?
I think they're all a bit bad. It's this play, Filthy Business. It's set in the East End of London. It goes from the late 60s through to the mid 80s, and it's a family, an immigrant family, who have their own rubber business, and it's a sort of hysterical family fiery drama, or what I call Christmas. And they fight, they swear, they try to live as immigrants, starting a business in East London. And yeah, so Andy and I play the sons to Jennifer Ludlam, who's the matriarch, which is a great role for her.
Yeah.
And then there's Jodie Dorday is his wife, and Hedda Dunleavy is my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It should be a riot, actually. We start tomorrow, looking forward to it, and meet all the young ones who, you know, I have kids now.
Yes.
When I'm doing shows.
Yeah.
I've got to be a dad.
I
so.
probably have grandkids.
Yeah. I used to be the young one. Used
I
to look
know.
up to the
It's
likes
sad,
of, you know,
isn't it?
Stuart Deviney and
Yeah.
Elizabeth Hawthorne,
Yeah.
who's still the naughtiest actress I've ever met.
Oh, she's fabulous.
Yeah.
I've only done one thing with her, and it was a reality TV show. And she was sort of the headmistress, and she was sort of like a weakest link character, but she was so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
a
when you read Filthy Business, did you laugh out loud, or is it one of those plays where the more you rehearse and the more you see it, it gets funnier?
I think it's one of those ones that, you know, I come from a family of quite outspoken and badly behaved.
Right. Sounds good.
Some of them
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah.
But I recognised immediately that sort of, you know, things said with love in the heat of the moment. And so anybody that's had one of those fiery family upbringings will definitely recognise the comedy in it. And the comedy comes out of the fact that it's, you know, it's the things you can't say to other people unless you're related to them.
And did you get asked to be in this play?
I did. I was very lucky. I got asked to go in and read against some of the young actresses who were auditioning for one of the parts. They needed somebody for them to read against. And as I was there, I was like, Colin, where's my part? This looks like a great play.
Yeah.
And then luckily Peter Dobe got a better gig somewhere else. So
Oh, good. We like that.
I've snaked my way in.
Great.
It's my dream, actually, because I live up the road from the new theatre, is that, like, if they're ever short, somebody falls off the stage, they'll get a call and can just rush down.
And it's such a lovely theatre to perform
Oh,
in
it's
as well,
so
isn't
great.
it?
You know, it's the best thing that happened to Auckland.
Well,
in
we've sort of
terms
grown
theatres.
up, haven't we? When you go to Melbourne, Sydney, anywhere else, they've got their own theatre, and this is grown-up stuff now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we used to work a lot at the Maidment Theatre, and while it's a great auditorium and a great theatre, it was, you'd see the punters come out afterwards that had a great time and then all go, right, shall we go get a drink
Yeah.
or something?
You're stuck in no man's
And
land.
there's
Or shall we
nowhere
go to the library at university and
Yeah.
read some books?
Should we go to Shadows?
Yeah.
So now there's the opportunity for people to have a drink and something to eat. And,
Oh,
you know,
and also with the hotel going up over the road, I mean, there's an audience right there.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely
yeah, no, it's
fantastic.
an exciting time. And it's a wonderful theatre. They've really thought through everything. You know, that's all the back of house is amazing.
The thing that I found when I performed there once, thanks Colin, was it is very intimate for a big theatre, isn't it? It feels intimate.
If
Well,
you've
it's
ever-
medium size, I suppose.
It feels like you're on the Sky City stage with that big fly tower and all that space, but you are playing out to like the Maidment Auditorium.
Yeah.
It's quite close and intimate, and you know, this is a bigger auditorium than what the Maidment was, but somehow it feels closer and more intimate. So yeah, it's I was lucky enough to do Peer Gynt.
I saw you in Peer Gynt.
which
You're
was
pretty
great fun.
over the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, when you're the troll king, you know.
You
where
were
else are you gonna
pretty
go?
OTT, I have to say. It was good.
It
but
might have had something to do with the costuming and
yeah,
the
especially
the
Lisa's
succubus
costume.
that was sort of sucking off me and things.
Um,
And Lisa Chappell walking around with a
yes, with an appendage.
with an
I'll
appendage.
never forget that as long as I
It was
live.
very
It
confusing
was,
hugging her
yeah.
after the show.
No, I've still got a
Yeah.
visual of that. I don't think I'll ever forget it. So you have to, in Filthy Business, do you have to have a Jewish, Cockney Jewish accent, or?
I found the last video store in Auckland, and I got out every Cockney movie I could find. So yeah, they're Jewish immigrants. But we're sort of going. I think, you know, by that stage, growing up as a young immigrant, you work very hard to fit in. So we're sort of going for quite a naturalised. Basically, I'm going to copy Andy Granger.
That's all right.
I'm just following Andy
Yeah,
Granger
that's
around.
okay.
They'll be like, "Oh, his accent's very
Yeah,
good."
yeah. Well, imitation, sincerest form. I would just do that. So you prefer comedy more than drama?
I mean, I love comedy, and you know, I think the best comedy comes out of drama often because, you know, it's that release. And I think I remember very early on in my career working at Bats Theatre that, you know, learning that thing of you can stick, you know, when you can stick the knife in, and you know, when you can turn an audience, and, you know, playing, you play with an audience, and so that once I learnt that, that was quite addictive. And
If you've got them.
you've got them, but not just you've got them. You know, the play's got them, or the idea, or the character, or the writing, and, you know, the fact that all these people in a dark room who have come together on a rainy night to have this shared experience. It's like, yes, you know, you don't get that in any other sort of form of work that I do.
So you prefer theatre to TV or film?
You know, they're all great. What I love about theatre, and why I will often do it as opposed to doing, you know, some TV, if it's you know, if often, you know, you're asked to come and do some TV and it might be a day here and a week off and a day here and 2 weeks off. You know, theatre, I get to go to work every single day for a month to rehearse and then perform it, you know, every night. And I need to work because, you know, idle hands are the devil's plaything. They are.
Cats or dogs? Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Good.
They make me laugh.
Yeah, they're hilarious, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Dogs are just a little bit like, if they had a bit more of their own sort of thing going on, but they're so eager to please.
Yeah.
Cats make you work for it.
I was going to ask you before also about the telly. I mean, you've done a lot of television, and I think you're one of these actors. And I don't mean to be rude, but you're always there in the major productions and with the best actors like Agent Anna and that sort of thing. But
When I work with you, you mean the best actors?
that's
Yeah.
right, exactly. But possibly not a household name, but people will know you as a great performer.
Yeah, well, I think it's, you know, it's very difficult to do your job as an actor if everybody knows every single thing about you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I must be one of the few actors in New Zealand that works as a professional actor that hasn't done Shortland Street, and that's sort of something I think that's actually, you know, worked in my favour, in that, you know, I haven't had those sorts of roles that I will always be known for, because I've been lucky enough to work in a number of different things and you know, sort of blend in.
Yeah.
Not necessarily blend into the background, but it's
No.
just the fact that it's
Not
like,
sort of second tree.
I think an audience kind of like, is he the guy from
Yeah.
the Mainland Cheese ad a million years ago? It's like, yes, but yeah. I remember meeting you actually for the first time when we did Agent Anna.
Yeah.
You were one of the mean friends.
I
weren't
was,
You were
yeah,
a good
funny
mean
that.
friend. I remember you sat down, we were between filming, you were looking at me, you went, "You've turned green." And I was so sick that day. I had
really?
the flu.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this isn't going to go well. I don't think my makeup matched later in the day.
Oh,
I
okay.
was so
Yeah, I
sick.
do remember that now, actually.
We were sitting in a very nice house down
Yes.
in St Mary's Bay.
Yep, I do remember that. Because the thing about actors who, well, you always get jobs, you always, it seems to me, always in work, you're always there. I mean, my husband and I, out of the blue, started watching Frontiersmen.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so for the History Channel, because we love the whole thing about the Wild West and everything. And towards the end of it, all of a sudden, I said, that's Phil Peloton. And then that's Elliot Wrightson. And then how come you're in a frontiersman about capturing the Wild West? And then of course it's shot in Wellington.
Yeah, well, and it was shot in Wellington when the earthquake hit, and
Oh.
so that was a very interesting time,
Right.
especially for the Americans that were here who had never been in an earthquake.
Okay.
And then once we all spilled out on the street, it was, oh, and what's a tsunami? And then the sirens started, and we all had to head up into the hills.
Wow.
And then knowing we were going back into work the next morning at Avalon Studios, which is, a big old concrete building, yeah, there was a lot of tension around, the lights would start swinging, and you just, but the show goes on.
It does.
And no, they did a lot of work about, to keep us safe, and they made some very hard decisions. But yeah, that series of shows that company has done here, they've done the Roman Empire and things. They,
Because you were in that too, weren't you?
yeah, I think I weaseled my way into that one as well.
Yeah, I think I saw you in the Roman cosy in a tent or something.
Yeah, I think I had a beard. I think
Yeah.
beard or no beard, what's my look going to be?
No, I
Yeah.
think the beard was good. Yeah,
It's a bit of character.
it does.
Yeah,
Gravitas.
bit of gravitas. It says he's old, which is good on a big stage. It's like he's the old guy.
Well, you don't look that old to me. Hey, it's
Oh.
lovely to see you. Thank
You
you
too.
so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck with Filthy Business.
Thank you.
I will be there watching, and I know it's going to be fabulous. Amazing cast, you included, so thank you.
Thank you. I'll try not to spit on you when I'm talking
Okay.
from the front of the
That'd be
stage.
good.
It's a,
Yeah, thanks.
occupational hazard.
Okay.
You take the rent, you add a zero. The price isn't going lower than that. Yeah. Yeah, get back to me. What is it, Kingston?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not. I always apologise.
Say what you want. I am busy.
I'm sorry.
Thought you said you weren't.
I'm not. It's just a thing I always keep saying. I honestly don't know why I do. I'm sorry.
Stop saying sorry. Sit. Speak.
I am not happy. I spent hours putting all those copies together, and I really think I deserve a listing.
I promised Sandy I wouldn't let you touch them. I've got a rental.
Let's take a look at what's on in Melbourne in the next month in case you plan to swap the cold here for the cold there. If you are a Queen fan, and I'm talking the band, not the sexual identity, then don't miss Queen Forever, We Are the Champions. It's at the Crown Entertainment Complex on the 11th of August. This Australian tribute show recreates the music and performance of Queen with authentic costumes, amazing guitar solos and state-of-the-art lighting. Supposedly, it's as close to the real thing as you'll ever get. Mamma Mia is at the Princess Theatre in a stunning new production. Just in time for the new movie, this is the original story of Sophie on the eve of her wedding and her quest to discover the identity of her father. 3 men from her mother's past come back to the Greek island paradise they last visited 20 years before. Sing along to Voulez-Vous, SOS, Take a Chance on Me, etc. John Cameron Mitchell comes to Melbourne to perform hit songs from his Tony Award-winning musical Hedwig and the Angry Inch. This was originally conceived as a drag show at the notorious New York City club Squeezebox and has since been on Broadway, been turned into a movie earning a Golden Globe nomination and then earning a special Tony. Mitchell will also preview songs from his upcoming musical podcast, Anthem. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance, so wrote Oscar Wilde, and his wonderful play, An Ideal Husband, is on till mid-August for the Melbourne Theatre Company. Successful politician Sir Robert Chiltern has it all: money, power, and the love of his adoring wife. But when a mysterious character threatens to expose a dark secret from his past, he becomes hopelessly embroiled in a world of insider trading, blackmail, and deception. An added bonus, this production stars Gina Riley from Kath and Kim. Still with MTC, and for all you A Place to Call Home fans, Marta Dusseldorp stars in A Doll's House Part 2. US playwright Lucas Nath has written a brilliant contemporary classic which continues Nora's story from Ibsen's A Doll's House. This was a Broadway smash, of course, and it makes no difference if you are familiar with the original. It explores the themes of equality and relationships with fresh eyes. My next guest is not only one of my favourite people in theatre, she's one of my favourite people, full stop. I warn you about ever treading the boards with this woman, as she is likely to steal the show and leave you for dust in her wake. Thrilled to have the lovely Darian Takel with me. And of course, you and I met Darian playing golf. In joke. Yeah.
In joke. I do have a golf club in the car, which you can have if you like. It's not mine.
Is that for personal security?
I don't know. I've been trying to give it away. I think it was my son's. And he doesn't play golf.
I don't know why I'm hysterical, but you see, the thing about this was that when I started working with Darren in a play, was at Social Climbers.
Yeah.
I said to Darren, "Oh, Darren, lovely to see you. We used to play golf together." And he said, "I don't play golf." And so I don't know who the person was that I played golf with, and probably called them Darren, and it wasn't.
Probably,
Anyway,
yes.
by the way, I think that's hysterically funny, but it's probably not.
We did go to the same school, though.
We did. I was going to get onto that. St.
Oh, we-
Cuthbert's.
oh.
But weren't you expelled?
No, I think they tried.
Yeah, they
I-
tried.
yeah.
They tried to expel me
Did
too.
they?
Yeah, they did.
Yes. I mean, I was gated when I boarded for a year.
Right.
And I did something naughty. Can't quite.
What did you do?
I think it was ban the mop march, because our mops were terrible, and so I was always being the spokesperson, you know, for others, and always got myself into trouble. And so I led a march at boarding school with the mop, because they were terrible, and we were meant to clean our bathrooms.
Well, I think that's
you
fair
know.
enough, Darren.
Yeah.
I do.
And also I raised the rebel flag on French Independence Day. I did lots of naughty things.
Yeah, no, I did
Yes.
a lot of naughty things too, and I got away with it pretty much most of the time. In fact, yeah, no, I did. It was good. It was good being a rebel there, wasn't it? Because it was a pretty strict, girls-only private school, and if you were a rebel and you could get away with it, you had a hell of a lot of fun. Yeah, no, it was good fun. And also the other thing we've just realised, you know, I keep saying, "Well, Darian, I worked with you with this. I played golf with you here. I probably played professional tennis with you." And you're saying, "No, we didn't. We never did." But actually, we did do 12-bar rhythm and shoes, or we would have been rehearsing it together, which was this. Well, how would you describe that?
Song and dance show. Yeah, it was
Singing
great.
and dancing. So we would have been rehearsing that together in 1980, when, as you say, I was 12, and
Yes.
and then I, went into drama school, and it went on, and obviously they replaced me with somebody, but I don't know who.
I don't know who either, because I think I did a couple of seasons of it, or 2 years, and then I played Piaf, and so I had to pull out of the very last season of 12-Bar Rhythm and Shoes.
Who did you play Piaf with?
Theatre Corporate
Ah,
with Raymond Hawthorne.
okay.
Because I'd seen it in London and thought it was absolutely marvellous. And then the casting director, that was the Royal Shakespeare Company, she had seen me do a solo show. And when it came to look for someone to understudy Jane Lapertere, who played Piaf for the Royal Shakespeare Company, I was approached to do it. Yes, well, therein hangs a tale, because I was young and I thought, I don't do understudies. Hello, Royal Shakespeare Company. That's all I ever wanted to do, was to be in the Royal Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Oh, probably banged my microphone. All I'd ever wanted to do was to be in the Royal Shakespeare Company. I still do.
Did you?
And I had
did
the
you turn them
opportunity-
down?
Yes.
Oh, you're kidding me!
Yeah. Mad.
Oh,
Who knows what
no.
would it... But then I didn't know. I thought understudies sort of never went on. And so I came back, and Raymond Hawthorne applied for the rights to do it here in New Zealand. And they said, they'd heard of me, probably thought, oh, yeah, that's that twit who turned down understudying Jane Lapertere and these
my God.
wonderful actors. Anyway, there we go. So I'm still hoping to get into the Royal Shakespeare Company.
I think you've got a good chance. I do.
Well, I did once audition for them, and the only audition piece I had, I'd played Mephistopheles in Dr. Faustus, and it was an alternative theatre group, and so we'd done... it was kabuki. So there I was.
Of course it was.
I was in a tiny little thing. I was about half the size I am now, going that way.
Because you're so enormous now, of course.
I am. And then, it was Trevor Nunn's office. He wasn't auditioning me, he was away. So I went in and I did this piece, doing this whole kabuki thing. Now, Faustus! And did this whole thing leaping around. Yes. Anyway, I still haven't worked for the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why. But you would be perfect as Piaf. I mean, perfect. You're probably too young when you did it.
Possibly, but I mean, I still sing the songs
Oh.
because I love the French, so I often do those. But I loved playing that role, and it's kind of gone down a bit in history.
Yeah,
So it was one of my big favourite
Yeah.
roles.
Well, of course, our first play together, we've done 2 together, and the
Yes.
first one was Social Climbers for
Yes.
Tadpole. And I reckon I think that's probably my happiest experience on stage. And not because I had to vomit, but that was fun. You know, it was so over the top. And of course that set,
Yeah.
which was basically a mountain hut built on the stage. It was so much good fun, wasn't it?
It was great fun, except for the hundreds of props. Oh my God! You had a lot of props too?
I sort of ignored them.
Yeah, oh, good
yes,
for you.
I know. I try to make things easy for myself, so I might rehearse with them, but come opening night, I just forget about them.
Oh no, I took them terribly seriously.
Yes, you did take them terribly seriously, and that's a very good and professional thing to do. So that's probably why you get lots of theatre work and I don't. But I read an interview with you really recently, and you said, and I concur, about the camaraderie that you get in the dressing room and with other actors and during a play. Unless there's somebody totally vile in it, but that I haven't had that. I have had that
Nor
in
have
TV, but I haven't had it in theatre.
Yeah.
It's such a magic environment, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's really special. I remember saying to Lucy Lawless about going onto the set. I said it's like being in love, which sounds a bit weird, but I found the same thing, like rehearsing with people, being in the dressing room. It is just magic. I just love it.
Was Xena one of your best experiences?
It was an interesting one,
Right,
you know.
okay.
Having a very tall daughter, Lucy,
Yes.
and she had a very short mum.
Right.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. You know, enjoyed the costumes and all.
It'd be full on though, wouldn't it?
Oh, it was full on. Yeah, it was very full on, especially when I got burnt at the stake.
Yeah.
And they had all this fire around me, and I was tied up to the stake. And then they sort of lit the gas fires, you know, around the pyre. And they said, Darren, any problems? Just jump off. Hello, I was tied to a stake, and there were flames all around me.
Yeah. No, that wouldn't be too easy. But that would be a very good audition piece or a piece for your showreel for the Royal Shakespeare Company, St. Joan. Really, wouldn't it? And say, hey, done that. Look at this, look at this.
Yeah.
So that would be good. Comedy or drama?
I love both. The thing is, in the last sort of 10 years or so, I've done a lot of comedy.
You have, and you're very good at it.
I really love. I love making people laugh. But I always did the sort of big, heavy, you know, characters, you know, Eva Peron and all those, you know, dramatic ones, which I love too. You know, it was great. But I do like the comedy. And that's why it's been great, like, you know, us working together.
Tadpole.
Social Climbers, Pink Hammer, you know.
I sort of find as I get older, I sort of want to make people laugh more than I do cry, really. Because I want to laugh more than cry.
Exactly.
And it's just such great fun. There's nothing better than getting a laugh out of the audience.
And then if you cry at the same time, that's good too.
Yes, could be.
Because those are good parts where there's sort of that emotional thing.
Yeah.
But then people laugh uproariously and then, whew, you know.
Well, Pink Hammer was a bit like that,
It
wasn't it?
was.
Are
Yeah.
you, in your normal real life, are you an extrovert or an introvert?
Introvert.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Sometimes I am
introvert.
too. I'm
Yeah.
great at parties and things if I'm being paid to be.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, I don't want to go to parties where I don't know anyone or stand. I
Yeah.
feel like a dick.
Yeah. I think most actors are like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love people and I love
I
getting
don't
out
really.
amongst...
Not
You
that-
don't?
No, not that much.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's nice. Shall I go now?
But when I do, I do.
Well, we're cat people.
Of course we are.
We are cat people.
Absolutely, we
We
totally
love our
adore them.
cats.
Do you still have to audition?
Lately, it's funny, in about the last year, well, I do for commercials.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But I, don't really get many television commercials. I had a spate of them. But yes, lately, I have had the odd audition, which is odd because I'm not quite sure what to do.
Right. So I would thought you were going to say the other way around, that these days you don't really have to audition because you're so well known, but you're saying that you are auditioning.
I've had, ATC are now auditioning, whether
Oh.
somebody's been in the business for 100 years or,
Really, are they? That's
yeah.
unusual.
Yeah. Yes, because I auditioned for Billy Elliot,
Oh, yes.
and only a couple of months previously I'd just done that big musical for
Yes.
ATC.
Yeah.
So that felt a little bit odd, but
No, that is
I
good
don't
of-
mind. I don't mind. And I love doing music auditions, but I don't really get those anymore, Can't do those big roles.
Well, I think you're fabulous and you're wonderful to work with, and we have a great time together, and it's so lovely to see you
Yes.
and have you on the show.
And I'm going to write that play because I've got a part for you. And it's
Yay.
fun.
Good. I shall look
It's
forward to
mad as mad as anything.
Great. They're the best.
Yeah.
And finally, the art of course acting, part 2. What are the outstanding characteristics of a course actor? Well, first I should say a desperate desire to impress. The true course actor is most anxious to succeed. Of course, he is hampered by his inability to act or to move, and a refusal to learn his lines, but no one is more despairing if he fails. In reality, though, course actors will never admit that they have done badly. No matter what dreadful disasters have occurred, a course actor will convince himself that all is well, and in this he is supported by kind friends who reassure him that he was splendid. It is no use telling someone like that he was awful. The audience didn't notice a thing is the hallmark of the course actor. One thing is certain, no course actor ever really improves, although occasionally he may become worse as his limited faculties desert him with age. There are, however, 2 main streams of course acting. There is the rather pathetic actor or actress who is desperately keen, utterly incompetent, and very hard-working, the sort of person who spends 6 weeks rehearsing one line and forgets it on the first night. And there is the actor who has some small ability but is utterly lazy, the type who has one line and still carries a book around with him at the dress rehearsal. This section of actors and actresses are in the play simply for the drink and the company. And the third group are both incompetent and lazy. And that's all there is tonight on opening night.